Thank you, Mark. Secretary General Rasmussen, ambassadors, Dr. Miller, generals, admirals, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to Allied Command Transformation's annual seminar. Following our well-established tradition, we switch each year the side of the Atlantic on which we organize the SACTI seminar. This is why this year we have a great pleasure of organizing it on American soil. And a warm thank you to all those who have traveled or otherwise made time in their busy agendas to take part in this event. I would also like to thank the United States authorities, in the person of Dr. Jim Miller, acting under Secretary of Defense for Policy, for their help in making this seminar possible, but also their invaluable host nation support to my command throughout the years. The transatlantic symbol of having a NATO strategic command in the US is important to us all, and this gathering here in Washington, D.C. reinforces it further. And the upcoming summit of NATO heads of state and government in Chicago next May is another powerful symbol of this link. These seminars are, of course, high on ACT's agenda, and if I may say so myself, increasingly important ones on NATO headquarters. There are golden opportunities to have in-depth discussions on the top transformation issues of the day, in keeping with our mission of helping the nations best ensure their future security. This event will, however, be slightly unusual. Instead of offering the conventional overviews of topics, I would like to offer it above all as a milestone on the road to the summit. Issues related to capabilities, which are central to ACT's mission, will be among the most prominent in Chicago. It therefore makes perfect sense that preparations for Chicago will be the key focus of this seminar. Today, it is apparent that the stakes are higher than ever for the alliance to continue its transformation and address the way it will design, develop, and deploy the capabilities required to fulfill its level of ambition. On the one hand, most alliance members are now operating under unprecedented budgetary constraints, with defense budgets under particular pressure. And on the other, the emerging security challenges and the requirements needed to meet them are in no way receding. Challenges linked to the growing availability of high-end capabilities, conventional and non-conventional, to a variety of actors, and not all of them are well-intentioned. Challenges linked to hybrid threats, with non-state actors leveraging the increased accessibility of high-end technology. And challenges linked to our own vulnerabilities, such as our growing dependence on assured access to the global commons, international waters, international airspace, outer space, and cyberspace. To quote the British Secretary of State for Defense, "In this volatile age, it would be a bold man who would plan for military idleness." One of the great strengths of NATO has always been its capacity to respond to the challenges of the day and adapt to those we expect to face tomorrow. Europeans all recognize the debt they owe the alliance. NATO has allowed Europe to become whole again after decades of division. As challenges evolved, so did the alliance. And this day, 28 February, is a timely reminder of NATO's ability to adjust to new developments. On the 28th of February 1994, NATO engaged in its first ever combat action in defense of the civilian populations of Bosnia. Today, our men and women in uniform are deployed in demanding operations, contributing to Euro-Atlantic security in ways that few could have envisaged a few decades ago. I cannot open this seminar without paying tribute to their service, their dedication, and their sacrifice. Responding to the challenges of the day means being proactive in helping the nations develop the capabilities needed for tomorrow's collective defense and tomorrow's operations, all at a price they can afford. I'm privileged this morning to welcome to our discussion on capabilities a number of distinguished scholars and analysts. Many of you will recall the seminar ACT co-hosted with a National Defense University in 2010 in support of a group of experts so ably led by Secretary Albright, an event that helped lay the groundwork for the strategic concept adopted later at the Lisbon Summit. The input from strategists outside of NATO was critically important to the development of the alliance's vision of its future role. I am confident that their participation in this seminar will be equally valuable to NATO as it charts the way it will generate capabilities in 2020 and beyond. ACT is very fortunate to be located in Norfolk, Virginia, one of the world's greatest military hubs. It is also privileged to be headquartered so close to Washington, D.C., perhaps the greatest concentration anywhere of think tankers, academics, and other experts on strategic issues. It is this wealth of knowledge and insights that I would like to help leverage by asking our guests, some of whom, I should add, have come from way beyond DC, to contribute today. As yesterday was the 110th anniversary of the birth of US novelist John Steinbeck, I was reminded of a quote of his that could serve as a guide for this and any open forum. And I quote, "Ideas are like rabbits. You get a couple and learn to handle them, and pretty soon you have a dozen." And finally, as we begin this conversation, I would like to acknowledge Secretary General Rasmussen's leadership in putting capability issues at the very heart of a debate in NATO. Whether at the Lisbon Summit in 2010 or in your driving role in the Smart Defense and most recently Connected Forces initiatives, you have taken the discussion of capabilities across the full range from training and interoperability to hardware and command and control to a whole new level in the alliance. I'm grateful, sir, for your leadership and your trust in Allied Command transformation. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me greeting Secretary General Rasmussen, Secretary General of NATO.